The Galactic Survival Corps had protocols for everything. When the distress beacon from the research outpost on Kepler 442b went silent, they dispatched their standard emergency response team. 3 Xanthari specialists equipped with the Regulation 47-item survival kit, 1 Vexian navigator with advanced sensory organs, and 2 humans. Commander Vraltok examined his equipment checklist for the 3rd time. Water purification tablets, atmospheric analyzers, emergency shelter modules, plasma cutters, medical synthesizers, gravitational anchors, communication arrays. Everything designed by the finest minds across 12 species to handle any conceivable emergency. He glanced at the humans. Angelina was securing her dark hair into a tight braid, her movements efficient and practiced. Jackson stood nearby, checking a single fixed-blade knife strapped to his thigh. That was it, no pack, no equipment harness, just the knife and the clothes on his back. Human Jackson. Vraltok clicked in barely concealed irritation. Where is your survival equipment? We have 17 hours before planetfall. The requisition office is still. Got everything I need, Commander, Jackson replied, patting the knife. That'll do. Vraltok's translator struggled with the idiom. That will suffice. Impossible. The environment below is Class 4 hazardous. Atmospheric toxins, hostile fauna, extreme temperature fluctuations. He knows what he's doing, Angelina interjected, her voice calm. She hefted her own pack, noticeably smaller than standard issue. We both do. The Xanthari commander's facial tendrils twitched in disapproval, but he said nothing more. Humans had been part of the galactic community for only 30 standard cycles. They were still proving themselves, still learning. Let them learn the hard way. Kepler 442b greeted them with a sandstorm that shredded visibility to mere meters. The landing was rough, the ship's computer screaming warnings about wind shear and particulate damage. Through the chaos, Jackson remained unnaturally still, eyes half closed, as if listening to something only he could hear. When they emerged from the ship, Vraltok's equipment immediately began cataloging threats. Silicon-based particulates in the air, ambient temperature at 43 degrees Celsius, ultraviolet radiation at dangerous levels. He activated his environmental shield, watching the power cells begin their inevitable drain. Jackson squinted at the orange sky, then wrapped a piece of cloth torn from his sleeve around his nose and mouth. Angelina did the same. The research station is 14 kilometers northeast, Vraltok announced, consulting his navigation array. We must maintain pace to arrive before nightfall, when temperatures drop to -70. They walked. The Xanthari relied on their gravitational anchors to maintain stability against the wind. The Vexians' sensory stalks retracted into protective sheaths. Jackson and Angelina simply leaned into the storm, moving with a stubborn efficiency that seemed to mock the very concept of advanced technology. By hour 3, Specialist Korth's environmental shield failed. The backup activated automatically, but Vraltok noted the concern in his subordinates' eyes. They were burning through resources faster than calculated. By hour 5, they found the first body. The researcher had been Tyrellian, their crystalline form now fractured and dark. The corpse was half buried in sand, one arm extended as if reaching for something just beyond grasp. Toxin analysis indicates indigenous spores, the Vexian navigator reported. Lethal to 73% of known species. My antibody synthesizer can produce. Don't breathe deep, don't touch the purple growths, drink lots of water, Jackson said, kneeling beside the body. He wasn't looking at his scanner. He was looking at the ground, at the pattern of sand displacement, at the way the wind had covered some tracks but not others. 3 more died this way, headed west, running from something. How could you possibly have? Vraltok began. Tracks, Angelina said simply, pointing at disturbances in the sand that the commander's sensors had dismissed as geological anomalies. They panicked, separated, made it easier for the predators. Predators? Vraltok checked his biological scanner. I'm detecting no large life forms in the immediate vicinity. Jackson's hand rested on his knife. They're here, waiting for dark. We need to move faster. They found the research station at hour 7, just as the sun began its rapid descent. The facility was a wreck. Walls breached, equipment scattered, emergency lights flickering their last gasps of power. Inside, 2 survivors huddled in a reinforced storage room. a young Xanthari scientist and a human engineer named Marcus. "The creatures," Marcus gasped, his face haggard. "They're like nothing in the database. They hunt in coordinated packs, they adapt to our weapons, A screech cut through the air, high-pitched and hungry. Then another, then a dozen more surrounding the station. Vraltok's combat team activated their plasma rifles. The Vexian deployed automated turrets, standard defensive protocol, tested across 1,000 scenarios. Jackson walked to the nearest breach in the wall and looked out into the gathering darkness. Shapes moved in the gloom, low, fast, intelligent. "Commander, I need you to turn off all the lights," he said quietly. "Absolutely not. We need visibility to—" "They hunt by electromagnetic signature," Angelina interrupted, already understanding. "All our tech is lighting us up like a beacon. They don't see light the way we do. They see energy." Jackson pulled his knife free. In the dim emergency lighting, the blade seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "Stone Age rules now, Commander. Fire and steel." What happened next would be discussed in Galactic Survival Corps training for generations to come. In the darkness, without sensors or shields or plasma fire, Jackson and Angelina moved like ghosts. They used the terrain, the wind, the creature's own aggression against them. Marcus joined them, a piece of sharp metal in his hands, remembering something ancient in his genes. The knife wasn't fancy. It didn't have a power cell or a plasma edge or a molecular sharpener. It was just good steel, properly balanced in the hands of a species that had spent 100,000 years learning to survive with nothing but their wits and whatever they could carry. When dawn came, the creatures were gone, retreated or dead. The humans were bloodied but alive, standing among the scattered pieces of broken technology. Vraltok stared at his 47-item survival kit, then at Jackson's knife now being cleaned on the human's pant leg. "How?" he asked simply. Jackson sheathed the blade and smiled. "Sometimes the old ways are the best ways, Commander. Every tool in your kit needs power, needs maintenance, needs perfect conditions. This," he patted the knife, "this just needs me." Angelina handed Vraltok a canteen of water, not from a purification system but filtered through sand and cloth the way humans had done it for millennia. "We don't survive because we have the best technology," she said. "We survive because we learned to thrive when we had nothing at all." As they prepared for extraction, Vraltok added a new note to his mission report. "Recommend revision of survival protocols. Human methodology may prove valuable." Jackson caught Angelina's eye and grinned. She grinned back. They were humans. And that would always be enough. And